it can be hard to define synchronicity. I feel that this is so because of our limited vocabulary when trying to explain and define those things that exist beyond our three-dimensional worldview. For example, we can define synchronicity as a force, a seemingly conscious force, and yet my personal experience with this force is that it is not in and of itself sentient, in the way that we humans would define that term, but that it can nevertheless be used with such exacting precision by certain other truly sentient beings, not bound by the physical world, that synchronicity, as a force, can seem to be a conscious thing. That is a big paragraph, and I do get ahead of myself. It is perhaps far more important that we continue this synchronistic journey by discussing how it is that these forces can act upon us and direct our fate. Well, in the most simple sense, this force does this by manifesting itself before us with such intensity that to ignore it becomes impossible. And after we begin this noticing process, it seems to somehow open up a small window that we might not have known was ever there, even though it now seems to have always been there to some degree. This window opens up and floods our reality with things that could not possibly be real, and yet, somehow, synchronicity starts to make them so very real. I have on past occasions described the advent of synchronicity as an omen, as a confluence of probable events coming together into a single point, with varying degrees of intensity. You may, for example, be talking to someone about a certain topic, when all of a sudden the outside world comes alive for you, through this window of opportunity. It does this by dropping in front of you an event or object that is completely related to a topic that you have had in mind, that you had been discussing. And this event or object, and its relation to the thoughts in your mind, is at least from your perspective, so on point and yet so random, that its occurrence seems to show that the world is agreeing with you, or perhaps playing with you in some strange way. Let's say, for example, that you are talking about a certain drink you love or hate, when all of a sudden, a truck or bus with that drink logo on the side of it drives by, perhaps nearly hitting you, or causing some kind of commotion that makes it hard to ignore this crazy event. This then becomes an initial omen, a small one perhaps, and one that at first may have completely escaped you consciously, but nevertheless, one that makes you notice, and may lead you down a path that you may not have taken, had this event not taken place. In the paranormal world, this would be a beckoning, an invitation to come meet, a call that opens up a probable course that leads you to investigate a certain reality, a certain life possibility that at a moment before was not open to you. And as you focus your attention, with increasing force on this idea or phenomena, this focus of attention on your part, and possible actions as well, begins to increase the intensity of these odd probability conversions, related to this particular topic. After that omen sets you on a path to investigate a certain haunted house, for example, you may through sheer and incredible coincidence, or what some would term good fortune or luck, stumble across in the most fortuitous way, across all sorts of information or helpful hands, that may lead you deeper and deeper into the phenomena that you seek. This is all part of the synchronistic realm, and I have written about this good luck factor within this arena, in relation to the use of focused attention, and the creation of intent in order to acquire wealth, for example. But this powerful force can affect anyone, and so the paranormal researcher, like the seeker of wealth, may jump on this wave, and use it to go deeper and deeper into the exploration of the phenomena that they wish to investigate. This wave may be a big one, or just a small crest. If it's a big one, it will allow that person that has had enough power and boldness to get on this wave at the right time, to begin a long and prosperous ride deep into the phenomena that they seek. This ride may seem really easy comparatively. It may begin a process where more and more synchronistic events begin to happen, and it may seem so right that before the seeker is even aware of it, they may find themselves deep into another world of possibility. And if they were to look back to where they started from, they would find it hard to believe that they were at one time part of a world where these now current events and possibilities seemed so alien and far away. Synchronicity by its very nature has a way of overtaking a person very quickly. Before the seeker of either wealth or knowledge knows it, they have quite literally traveled seemingly miles into a potentially new and unsuspected place. It is this almost accidental nature, which can begin the onset of a synchronistic storm, that compels the seeker to cross the first line in the sand that I spoke of in the last video. This crossing, depending on the psychological nature of the seeker, may or may not be of grand magnitude. You see, it is at this time, through a synchronistic event, that the seeker is presented with a new road. And it is at that moment, that either consciously or subconsciously, this seeker makes the choice to either walk down it, or turn around and walk a different way. A person may, for example, hear a weird noise, see the first inkling of something new in a house, or may experience some kind of odd phenomena that begins to direct their attention in a certain direction. A paranormal investigator may stumble on a clue, or run across something that redirects their attention towards a new investigation or a new subject matter. Now, this is a typical and mild form of synchronicity, and this seeming accidental occurrence is the beginning of something quite new and potentially life-changing. But in order to delve deeper into the synchronistic phenomena, we must now discuss another more prevailing kind of power, a power that has the ability to dwarf the ordinary synchronistic events that most of us may be used to, and one that can begin to assert its influence, after this first mild form of synchronistic occurrence opens up a small window of opportunity before us. For example, a paranormal investigator looking into a haunted house may see a small apparition. They may run across historical material that directs them further into the exploration of this house, or may even accidentally stumble upon a person who has experienced high strangeness in this place. This kind of synchronicity is the beckoning that I mentioned earlier, the first omen that may start a storm. It is here, at the crossing of this line, that the seeker of wealth and the seeker of the paranormal will diverge in experience. The seeker of wealth may become rich and may even continue to experience a rich life, due to the fact that their belief system may have changed dramatically. All of this change and synchronicity, though, is a highly personal affair, involving that person and that person's ability to cause change, that then becomes manifest in their life through synchronistic action. This is also true, up to this point, of the paranormal investigator, in the sense that their world has also changed, due to a personal direction of attention. But it is at this point that the paranormal investigator may be contacted by an external force, an aware force, a sentient yet perhaps not physical sentience, in the way we define physical. A force that is not synchronicity itself, but one that can manipulate synchronicity with awesome ability. Then things really take on a life of their own. It is my opinion that the seeker of knowledge, or for that matter, anyone existing in this world, must come to the sober realization that this is a hard and oftentimes unpredictable world. It is the case that any one of us, whether we seek out the paranormal or not, can come in contact with powerful forces that can be dangerous to us, or to those that we love. It is wise, therefore, that we learn how to protect ourselves from these powerful external forces, in the most energetically efficient manner. With that in mind, I recommend the book, Vampire's Way to Psychic Self-Defense. In this book, you will learn self-defense and countering techniques that will allow you to deal with even the most powerful predatory forces. I will leave a link to this book in the video description below.